guys. I thought I would talk about being yourself and knowing who you are, and not letting yourself be easily influenced by other trans people. When you interact with other trans people, and if you choose to go to like trans groups and trans events and things like that, because for the past 2 years, I have been surrounded by trans people constantly. I go to a trans group. I see there are hundreds and hundreds of trans people in the area that I live in, and I have interacted with so many different trans people. Um, and I think I'm very fortunate, and I'm really glad that I know exactly who I am and where I want to go transition wise, and I have been very strong headed, I guess, in who I am from the beginning. Before I started getting involved with the trans community, I really knew exactly what I wanted and where I wanted to go. Because if I didn't, and if I wasn't if I wasn't raised to be independent and know what I stand for and not let other people tell me who I am and what I do, um, I think I would be very different and not happy right now. Because recently, well, from the beginning, I've been getting little comments and stuff from the trans community and trying to, shove, um, shove not just me, but other trans people when they first come out, shove them into another box. We just escaped a box that we were already in, and when you come out as trans, you're supposed to feel like you can be yourself. But I feel like there's a lot of, pushing to put us all back into somewhere where we may not fit. And and this is what I mean is, especially if you're younger, and you're coming out as trans and you're getting involved in the trans community, it is very important that you not necessarily know exactly who you are, because it's a transition. You're supposed to transition, you know, with it. You don't have to know who you are and exactly where you want to go from right from the start, but to know, to not go in and just listen to what everybody else has to say about you and where everybody else wants you to go, because it's not their transition, it's yours. It doesn't matter how many years they've been transitioning. It doesn't matter how many trans people they know. It's your transition, and you need to decide where you're going to go with it, what's right for you. Because I've been to trans spaces where people are coming in and they're completely questioning. They have no idea if they actually identify as trans yet. They don't know. They come in and they're not, like, this is the first time that they're ever, you know, acknowledging that they might be trans. And they come into these trans spaces and just people pounce on them and just start like using assuming what pronouns they're going to use, and trying to say like, oh, if you go to your doctor, you can ask them about hormones and surgery and stuff like that. And it's like, whoa, take a step back. This person literally just walked in the door and is confused and just wants to listen and just wants to hear our experiences so that they can get a better understanding of who they are and know that it's okay if they are trans, and it's totally okay if they're not. And but people are like pushing pronouns and pushing surgery and pushing hormones and name change and coming out, and it's like, it's not your business. It's not your transition. I get it. You want to help, but you need to back off. It's totally different if someone comes up to you and says like, hey, can you tell me, your experiences on hormones and how you've, you know, been taking it emotionally so that I can figure out if it's right for me, kind of thing. It's a totally different story if I walked up to a pre-T trans guy and was like telling him you know, oh man, you have to go on testosterone because it's so good and it makes you so happy, and you know, you just have to go to your doctor, and this is how you do it, and all this stuff. Like, it's their decision, it's not mine to make for you. And I just find that there's a lot of pressure put on us from ourselves, like from the trans community, and I think it's kind of gross because we're supposed to be welcoming and we're supposed to be um, accepting of all of the differences in the community, and it's just really disheartening, I think, to see, you know, younger trans people who may be naive and maybe just starting out coming in and hearing all these older trans people telling them what to do, and you see the look on their face and they kind of don't know how to say no. And another part of this would be getting involved with things that you're not comfortable with. Um, I don't know, like I hear a lot of talk of like, you know, big um, expressions of like trans pride in my community, and a lot of trans people really want to get involved in stuff like that. That's not for me. I like to go to conferences. I like to discuss things. I do not like parades. I do not like marching down the street, and you know, I don't need that, and I don't want that, and I find myself surrounded by people who do want that stuff, and that's totally fine if they want to do that, but they're kind of like making it seem as if I'm not a good person if I don't want that as well. Um, and it's just a little disheartening. Again, I just think that um, we all transition differently. We all want something different out of our transitions, and it's just, I think that we need to be more accepting and more cautious of who we surround ourselves with and who we trust, I guess, especially if you're just starting out and you're not really sure where you want to go. Don't let people tell you who you are. Don't let people tell you where to go. Just because they're trans doesn't mean that they have your best interest in mind. They may think that they do, but they probably don't if they're trying to pressure you to do something you don't want to do or you're not ready for. And that's all I think I have to say. You know, the trans community is great and I love it, and I love, you know, interacting with new people, but you gotta be careful because you could get caught up in a lot of stuff and make some mistakes that you know, wouldn't have made if you took a step back and really thought and not got swept up in everybody else's ideas of who you should be. Um, so thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments or questions or video topics, um, leave them down below or message me. I asked my little sister, she's 13, if she would do a Q&A video with me. So if you have any questions for me or my sister, or both of us, then message me or leave them down below, because that will happen within the next couple months, depending on how many questions and how often they come in. So thanks for watching, guys. See ya.